Are we live? I guess we're live. Welcome everybody to the RetroBlasting Livestream. We've just gotten back from Dragon Con as of a week or two ago. I know it's been a while since we've posted anything, but Dragon Con takes a lot of prep. Hope you're having a good weekend. And the patrons have voted, and they voted for Toy Storage 101. Which is fortuitous for us because our storage room here in the studio was really needing some intervention, and so it all worked out. So what I thought I'd do is just kind of start an open Q&A, so anybody that wants to start asking a question can. I'll give it a few minutes for people to get into the chat room, but what I want to do is I want to make sure that you know that throughout this process, throughout this live stream, if you see something, is there a problem, Melinda?
They're saying there's an echo.
There's an echo?
Hello, hello, hello.
Is it because, oh, I bet you it's because the, I wonder if the camera.
1 moment, please.
I wonder if the camera.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, we're good?
Yep.
What? Okay, so we're okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, we'll do that one more time. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RetroBlasting live stream. We've been away for a few weeks, but we were at Dragon Con, and now the patrons have voted for this live stream topic. If you're a patron at any level, you can vote for the live stream topic, and the topic they chose was Toy Storage 101. And we needed to clean out our storage room, so here we are. So this was nice timing on their part. Live Q&A. So if you want to ask a question, please feel free to do so at any time. Melinda, Rebecca, and Tim will be watching the chat, as hopefully Timothy Ward is as well, and they'll be firing the questions back to me, which I can't see. So at the same time, as we clear boxes while I'm talking and answering your questions, if you see a box or something that you want me to grab, because I don't know what's in hardly any of these, I'll get done with one box and then we'll move on to the next one while we're still answering questions, but you get to pick what the next box is going to be. So toy storage, just to get started, I have this box here which somebody gifted me some vintage Star Wars model kits several years ago. This example right here that I have in this box is really indicative of not ideal storage. Clearly, this Darth Vader TIE Fighter was left in a non-climate controlled, non-humidity controlled environment, and rodents got to it, water damage got to it. This is the kind of thing that can happen when you're not cognizant of how you're keeping your stuff. And even if you don't have the ability to display your stuff in cases like this, you can still take precautions with the way you store your toys in order to protect them for future use and display. And one of those ways you can do that is by making sure that you store them in a climate-controlled environment. And don't store them in an attic or a basement. Store them in a climate-controlled part of your house with, central heat and air. And always try and keep the humidity at a medium to low percentage, like 40% or less is what I use. You don't want them exposed to extreme temperatures, and you don't want them out in sheds in places where rodents can get in and do damage like this, because this is not what you want. I mean, this right here, you just want to open this up, hope that the contents are okay, and then hope that you're a model kit builder and just build it, because you're not going to want to display this piece.
Eric wants to know if there is any Secret Wars gear around.
Secret Wars gear? Oh, yeah, Eric, there is some Secret Wars gear around. Let me grab that for you. Looks like I'm jumping off the camera here for a second. Hold on.
It's okay. Just find something else to zoom in. Hello, my name is Rambo. I'm here to kill Bravestar. I can totally take him. He'll never see it coming.
All right, so I think this is what you're referring
I guess I have to go back and focus on Michael again. Okay.
I guess this is what you're referring to, Eric. This was a gift that was sent to us recently by WildStar Studios. This is a replica for a full-size person of the Captain America Secret Wars shield accessory. It's got the lenticular kind of gimmick built into it, which is pretty cool. So you can do the whole Captain America thing.
Tilt it more.
Tilt it more?
Not that way, the other way. More. More. There you go.
Well, that seems a little weird to me, but okay.
You don't know.
I don't know. But that was a really, really cool surprise, and we're going to display that in the media room when we get done doing this whole studio thing. All right. So, what box do you guys want me to grab next from what you can see?
One quick question.
Yeah.
What do you think of plastic storage bins? Any worries on house flooding?
Plastic storage bins, as far as house flooding is concerned, I think that plastic is going to be safer than a cardboard box. You know, these cardboard boxes, they attract roaches, they attract other, ground crawling bugs that like to eat paper. So a plastic storage bin is definitely better for that. What I would also say is they tend to be water resilient as long as water doesn't get in the lip of them. But if you've got water coming up into your basement and it's going, over 18 inches, you got a bigger problem than just, your toy environment, your toy storage environment.
They want you to open that box.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was like just a bunch of like Boost, like like supplements or something like that? Something weird.
Let's see. I've got 2 Toy Biz Batwing wings with the Batman logo on them, so I guess I'll set those aside as part variants. I have a box here. I wonder what's in here. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make an adjustment to something while you do that.
You're making an adjustment.
I am.
Okay.
Just continue as you were.
This seems to have some Transformers, Masterpiece Transformers paraphernalia in it, paperwork. Let's see, some G.I. Joe pamphlets.
There's a Garbage Pail Kids card in there. Look on the back.
Oh yeah, there is a Garbage Pail Kids card in there.
Turn around so we can see.
We've gotten to the point where we don't even know what's
Yes.
stored where at this point. So we're trying to figure out,
Super inappropriate.
And then we've got, this is a G.I. Joe snake armor set. And the rest of this is Fisher Price.
Michael's going really fast because you guys don't need to see this stuff.
Fisher Price.
Wait, there's his face.
You want it? You want to get it down in the middle of this?
No,
The
I sure don't.
Fisher Price Imaginext figures. That, yes, I know I'm 5 years behind on that review, or 6, or whatever it is at this point. All right, so I'll set this paperwork aside. But yeah, you when it comes to the plastic bins, I think you're generally safe. The thing that I've always been real careful of with plastic bins, though, is making sure that I distribute the weight in those bins evenly. Yes.
Somebody asked about a Star Trek video.
Oh, the Star Trek video? Which one? The live stream Star Trek, or the?
Here, I'll fix that. Here
Any
we go.
update on the next Star Trek video?
Oh, the next Star Trek video. Yeah, we are working on it.
Here,
We are
now
working
this
on
is a Star Trek video. Look, just look at them all. Look at them go. Look at that slow pan. It's so perfect. You're welcome, you guys. That's why I'm here. I'm here to make everything awesome.
Looks like we've also got a Toy Biz Batwing in here with the box. And the box for the Starriers Armored Battle Station, aka the base that Cobra Commander always wanted. And everybody.
I like this person's idea that there's going to be a head in one of these boxes.
Somebody said looking for Furbies.
Now, one of the tricks with the plastic bins that I was saying is that you don't want to just pile everything into those bins. You want to think about what's the heaviest objects, put those on the bottom, wrap them in bubble wrap, then put the next heaviest objects on top of those.
Not fragile at all.
Right. Very fragile items like real Ghostbusters proton packs, things like that, they need to be sort of in their own hard-sided box and then put in the box so that the weight doesn't press down on them on any level, because those proton neutrino beams will snap. So you have to think about what's the piece, what's the size, what's the weight, how is it oriented, and how is that going to settle. So, you know, for now it seems like when you put those two toys together, like you put that Sky Striker in there with that X-Wing fighter, you know, maybe it's going to be okay, but when the weight settles, even with the bubble wrap around it, how is that weight going to settle on one of those X-Wing's wings or a Sky Striker's wingtip? You know, and then you've left it there for 6 months and you go back and the wings are now permanently warped or cracked or broken off. So you really have to think about the long-term storage as far as settling, just like a house foundation. Things will settle in the storage bin. So, do we have a contender for the next box, or do I just get to grab what? Just grab? Okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, wait, I'm getting a lot of compliments on my camera work. So I'm gonna zoom it around here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So there's like a lot of choices, you guys. Lots of choices.
Oh, we got a super chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real quick, ladies and gentlemen, just want to throw out there, I got a message from YouTube that the hurricane, which we are close to, unfortunately, is causing issues with the YouTube connection. So there may be some latency that you don't normally see. Unfortunately,
we can't control the weather.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're a slave to that. But I think we're okay for now. But just in case you're experiencing that, we do apologize.
And we also apologize if you're experiencing house flooding or some other horrible disaster, which would be way worse.
Scott Nexon,
And if so, why are you watching YouTube?
Scott Nexon gave us $20 and says no burning question today. Just want to say welcome back.
Scott, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Well, for the one thing in the box, we have Sarah from Land Before Time, one of the Pizza Hut finger puppets.
Hey, let's tell the story about why the finger puppet, the other one, became part of our whole shtick.
Well, you tell that story because you're the puppeteer in the room.
I randomly picked it up because it creeped me out really bad.
You're talking about Littlefoot.
Sure, if you say so.
We have a Rocketeer retro reaction figure.
I'm gonna zoom in so people can actually see it.
Yep, there's a lot
More
of.
compliments on my camera work.
We have my pencil box from when I was a kid.
I think I handled that pencil box too roughly one time and got in trouble.
Well, you know. Let's see.
Is that a Scott Baio fan club card?
What? No, it's a picture of Larry Hama from G.I. Joe. He's the creator of G.I. Joe, or the creator of Real American Hero.
It was the hair.
Yeah.
We
Let's
just
see.
got another $5 super chat from Justin Welches.
Oh, thank you, Justin, for the super chat.
Love the live streams and boxes of stuff.
Yeah, I try to love these boxes of stuff too. This is a childhood drawing of mine, apparently, from goodness knows how old this is.
G.I. Joe equals plain information and other equipment.
Yep. All right, let's see. What else do we have in here before we bore everybody on the live stream?
Hey, I have a question. Hey guys, check this out. So right up here, we all know who this lady is, right? So do you think that it's a coincidence that both she and the chick from Kill Bill both have the same, like, outfit? I don't. I think it's both inspired by Bruce Lee. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Now we return to our previously scheduled live stream.
So this was a gift for a birthday several years ago from some friends, a unopened Masters of the Universe vintage school kit. A lot of this stuff as we got the studio ready. Oh, this is one you're gonna love. This was from my buddy, I believe this was from Greg Tyler. This is a replica of Michael Knight's watch that he would use to call Kit. When he would, Kit, I need you. Then Kit would come driving around the corner. which is pretty neat. I've never seen another replica of that. I should probably put that in the case. It even says Knight Industries on the back.
Maybe it's just actually the one.
We got
Maybe
another $20 super chat from Chris Smith.
Oh, thank
Thanks,
you, Chris,
Chris.
for the super chat. I'm going to put this under the camera so that you can see it.
He has a question as well. It said, in regards to plastic bins, would you suggest transparent so that one can see the contents, or translucent solid to protect the contents from UV exposure?
Are you mic'd? Okay, so the question is, would you suggest transparent or translucent bins to either protect with the contents or to shield them from, like, I don't know, light?
If you're storing your stuff in a room where there are windows that let sunlight through during the day, then absolutely I would use colored bins as long as you label them properly.
Possibly opaque and not even
I'm saying colored, like opaque colored, like not because and then you label them properly so you know what's in them, of course, because you can't see in. Because you don't want that latent sunlight getting in there every day and slowly fading everything. Now, if you're in the situation like we're in, where I've eliminated all the windows from this studio so that no light gets in, I don't have the concern about clear bins anymore. I can use them with no problem. But yes, if you've got windows in that room, then I would definitely use opaque bins. It's just one extra thing that you can do to ensure that nothing's going to get faded.
What about Ziploc bags?
Ziploc bags. Ziploc bags are funny because some people swear that they're acidic and that acid will, discolor plastic and things like that. Here's my experience with Ziploc bags. We did a video a year or two ago about this with a G.I. Joe action figure named Spirit. And I had two from the exact same day from when I was a kid given to us on the same Christmas day. One discolored, one didn't. Both were put in the same Ziploc bags on the same day. They both stayed in the same box, same climate conditions, everything. One discolored, one didn't. The Ziploc bags were the same age. The Ziploc bags came out of the same thing, back in the 90s when I put them in there. It's really hard to determine whether or not a Ziploc bag is a problem for toys long term. It is a good idea, since Ziploc bags themselves break down over time, that you don't leave a toy in a Ziploc bag for 30 years. You can buy through toy dealers and through toy sellers on eBay, you can buy non-acidic bags, the same type of bags that you would get, like for baseball card sleeves, except they're made for action figures. I would say get those if you can. But as far as like short-term storage, I haven't had any definitive proof that a Ziploc bag is an issue. As long as you keep the Ziploc bag new and fresh, I'd cycle it out. But here's the deal: the non-acidic bags don't cost any more than the Ziplocs. So if you need to store them in bags, why don't you just go get those? And I guess you'll be in good shape. That way you don't have to worry about the acid content of the plastic in the bag. I wish I had a more definitive answer on that, but I don't. Hey, it's my childhood nightlight.
That thing is so creepy.
It is not. This thing's great.
Do not try to put that in any room I have to sleep in.
Like
there's
no respect around here.
Look at that thing. I will haunt your dreams.
Remember what I was telling you about bubble wrap? Bubble wrap is your friend.
It's also your cat's friend.
Don't think there's anything else in this box.
Ray wants you to open the box behind you. I did ask him whether he wanted the big box or the small box.
Who did? Who wants me to open that box?
Ray.
Okay, Ray, I will open.
Large, please. The large one that's like right behind you.
This one?
That one.
Okay.
Yes. We found the head. I was quoting someone on the live stream. I'm not going to take credit for that.
All right, so we've got packaging for the Dick Tracy figure Mumbles. All right.
It looks like a whole box of 1990.
We've got packaging for the police squad car. This is just the box for what's in the case over there. We've got packaging for the big boy's getaway car. Not to be confused with Bob's big boy. Although that would be funny to customize a big boy Caprice action figure in, you know, big checkerboard overalls holding a burger.
What's that from?
Bob's Big Boy? It's a restaurant chain.
Like in real life?
Yes, in real life.
I don't eat meat. I don't know.
I'd answer you faster, but I'm trying to hold back a burp.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
because I had a donut before I got on the live stream.
That was my fault. Sorry.
That was her fault, and that wasn't a good idea, but I'm okay. I'm good. Okay, so this is a micro machine set from the 90s, Star Wars Truce at Bakura. I don't know why I still have this. I will definitely be getting rid of that. And that's one thing that we're also doing. What is so funny?
You.
What we're doing is, part of this organization is to find the redundant toys, the repeats, the duplicates, and other things that will help us pare down. So there's going to be a large, I guess you'd call it sale for the RetroBlasting eBay account. You'll probably see in the next few days at the RetroBlasting eBay account on eBay. The account is RetroBlasting. You'll probably see a number of items go up that you can bid on, and all your all the money that we raise from that will go towards helping the channel with more production expenses. We're working on getting a new camera. We're working on getting a brand new editing station to stay up to date with the times. So that's part of the reason we're doing this, and also to carve out some space because we need more space in the studio. So yeah, so we're trying to figure out what we have and get organized. This is the box for the Batman Turbojet Batwing from Batman Returns. And you always keep...
What makes it turbo?
It had this really dumb car that popped out. You could basically turn it into a car, like a roadster, by popping the wings off, and
I think that's it outside.
these
right now.
wheels would go down, and
Thank you, Matt Movies.
Matt Movies 611 just gave us $1.
oh, thank you for the
Thanks.
super chat. Appreciate it.
I don't see a
And
question.
this is the box for the elusive Silverhawks Mirage.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yet weird.
Okay.
I do not own a Mayor McCheese nightlight.
A
Crazy.
what?
A Mayor McCheese nightlight. Hello, Argentina.
All right. So now that's out of the way. All right, pick the next box. I'm going to take this and move it out.
And there he goes again.
Oh man, I didn't see that he was gonna do that. All right, what can I show you now? I like how that bird's just hanging out with King Randor. They're just, you know, having a weird, awkward conversation. So, what kind of movies do you like? I don't know.
Here's
Well,
a
it
question
is
from
King
Matt Movie
Randor.
611. He did have a question. How
Yeah.
do you decide what to display and what to leave in boxes?
How do I decide what to display and what to leave in boxes? Most of the time for me, it's about core. Like core training, core strength. I really feel like
It's leg day.
I really feel like unless it's a really interesting subgroup or variant group, I like the core action figures of a first wave or second wave. So like for the real Ghostbusters, it's the 4 Ghostbusters, Slimer, Marshmallow Man, and the car. I did add Louis Tully to that when I got the standard Louis Tully figure because he has a proton pack and the jumpsuit like they do. With Mask, it was the vehicles that were most prominent in the cartoon, and everything else just kind of got, put in storage. With Star Trek, it's the main crews and their signature ship. I didn't want to put every single alien and random character on those shelves because it would take up. In other words, this room would have to be dedicated to Star Trek to accommodate all the Star Trek stuff there is. Same with G.I. Joe or Star Wars, something like that. So because this room is about the 80s, the late 70s and the 80s, the Gen X experience, I dedicated certain shelves to core characters. Like
Although
with,
you could do something where you just like change out like on a regular basis. And
I don't have time to do that.
No, but I mean,
yeah.
if somebody doesn't have as much crap as you have, let's be honest, most people
Right.
don't. So
They
like
want
if
to
you
open the white one.
if you have
This
like
one?
a cool shelf or something, you could always just sort of
Right.
change it out so that you can rotate your collection and sort of keep a better handle over what you actually have. You should have seen him when he brought that thing home from the store. My God.
It's like a jet-propelled B-25
He was
Mitchell.
so excited, and
great.
it was the day before Christmas, and he bought it for himself, and he came home, and he was so proud of himself.
It's such a cool toy.
I mean, he talked about it for days.
Now this box was sent to us several years ago by our good friend Art Percy.
Alexander Nielsen gave us it all.
Thank you for the super chat, Alexander. Appreciate it. All right, so in here we have a box.
My phone died, so I can't see.
It says, Belinda, have you ever walked into the basement and called Michael playing with his toys?
I'm not answering that.
She always complains that she catches me working all the time. I'm always working
That's true.
for the channel. I'm always working to make new videos and do new things. This looks like parts for the G.I. Joe vehicle, the Mean Dog, which
Doesn't look like a
Art
dog at all.
which Art donated, and I have to restore this vehicle at some point. So I will get around to doing that. Sorry for the wait, Art, to restore that vehicle. I know you've been waiting a while. Oh, good. This stuff is in Ziplocs. Okay, so I have some Ninja Turtles in here with some pieces to the TNG bridge. So I'll have to get those sorted.
A weird combo, but
Yeah. There's also a boat down there. I think it's to Fisher-Price Adventure people, maybe.
I'm in a boat, y'all.
These look like tires to mask vehicles, such as the Thunderhawk. Those could be very useful. Hey, muscles! They're multicolored muscles.
We have another super chat from Alexander Nielsen for $2.
Oh, thank you for the super chat, Alexander.
He says, super chat is hard. Is there an Exo Squad shelf?
Is there an Exo Squad shelf? You know, I had an Exo Squad toy that I got on clearance at Toys R Us and kept in the box for quite a while. And I just thought it looked cool. I didn't really know much about the line. And then I sold that as part of my attempt to get the down payment for the DeLorean several years ago. I would like to get back into Exo Squad because I love Robotech so much. And Exo Squad and Robotech are essentially related, at least in the merchandising. So I'm hoping that I will. Now the Robotech shelf is right there. I will move this box so that Melinda can show you the Robotech shelf.
Where's that Min May? Where is she?
She's down there, second from the bottom. All right, let's see, what else do we have
Another
here?
super chat from William Sorrell.
Oh, thank you for the super chat, William.
So what do you think about Thundercats Roar?
I think the artwork for Thundercats Roar is questionable. I'm getting a little concerned about the toddler-looking drawings. You see, when I was a kid and I was watching cartoons, the cartoons were generally, at least the characters and the character models, were very well done. And I was a kid who really was interested in art and drawing. I would always draw on the margins when I was supposed to be taking notes in science class. I was trying to draw my favorite characters like Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff. And it made me realize how talented those artists were. I really did feel this as a child, that, like, one day maybe I could draw as well as they could. You know, it makes you want to get better. It makes
Did you draw
want
the turtle on the TV and send it in to the Art Institute?
No, I did not.
Do you guys remember that commercial? Raise your hand if you remember that commercial. We'll see you from where we are.
But nowadays I feel like the level of drawing is at the level of a grade schooler. And
It's just because you're old and like that's the way
no,
it is. now.
no. The drawings really are that bad. Like they really are, and I just don't like the artwork. If you can't get me past the gift wrap, I don't really care what's in the box. If it's animation and it's drawn and I don't like the drawings, then you've lost me. Whoop, you know. So.
We got a super chat from Jeff Solo.
Oh, thanks, Jeff, for the super chat.
It's 0.79 pounds. How much is that in weight?
Oh, that's about $1, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Does he have a question or?
Wow, thanks. Looks like Art sent us some constructs. Can't ever get too many of those. Even more constructs. Capsella. Lots of Capsella.
Do we know for sure that it's constructs and not constructs?
I was always pronouncing it constructs. God, there's a lot in here. I'm gonna have
Seem
to.
like it would be constructs because that's
Some
yeah.
Legos.
Venom 75 gave us $5.
Oh, Venom! I love that guy.
Thank you, Venom, for the super chat. Yeah, a lot of constructs in here. Looks like this is going to be a good starting point for a constructs video at some point in the future. So this is definitely a good box right here.
We got a $10 super chat from Shane Sarte.
Oh, thanks for the super chat,
Says,
Shane.
welcome back, y'all. I've got some mean dog parts if you need for the restore and lunch boxes, please.
Oh, okay. Oh, this box right here, I guess, is what he wants to see?
Yes, yeah, lunch boxes.
Oh, okay. There might not be lunch boxes in there. Just letting you know because
That's probably the box that we used to
move the lunch box.
boxes in. So can I just show something off? If you guys move, this is a great tip. First of all, I color-coded every box for a room. Each room in the new house got its own color of Post-it note. And then your movers will thank you because they can just take and like move all of the green tabbed boxes into a room. And then I wrote like what's in there like on multiple sides of the box. Because I'm a huge nerd and I have apparently a lot of spare time.
Got a 5-pound super chat from the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey.
Oh, hey man, what's going on? He is a active participant in the Twitter. I know him really well. So
Says, as much as I'm enjoying the stream, my EDS is destroying me right now, so we'll have to leave. Glad to see you guys back.
it's destroying him right now. What's destroying you?
It says EDS.
Oh, what's EDS?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Oh, for her? Oh, here, this is for you, Rebecca.
Oh, goody, I get a mic.
All right, so you want to see the lunch boxes box. Let's see.
Tim just handed me a microphone to give to Rebecca, and I was so confused. I was like, I don't understand why you're giving me this. I already have a microphone.
Fine.
I'm just
Now you guys
apparently
can hear
really
me.
slow on the uptake today.
It's not just 80s stuff.
Dude, I love that thing
Sometimes
so much.
it's 19th century toys, like this one.
Alright. That's like a fidget spinner from like way back.
Yeah, but better than the fidget spinner. And so for the next 40 minutes,
Yeah, the
that's
rest
all
of the
Michael
whole
did on the live
is just gonna
stream.
be this, like.
Yeah, this toy's awesome.
I like that.
All right, let's move this Aliens power loader. There's barely anything in this box. This is why we're doing this, because there's a lot of wasted space. What we have in here is we have the packaging for a Voltron miniature blazing sword set, which would have gone with the smaller Voltron, which I believe is on display.
It's Tim's assertion that we have more Voltron than we have Bespin Luke, which is a really big thing to say. Apparently we're loaded down with robot lions. I would believe that.
I also have a GoBots child's dinner plate, seemingly unused.
I bet it's used.
Oh, somebody's asking, how did they find us on eBay?
What'll happen is you'll look for a seller. So the seller name you look under is RetroBlasting. So tomorrow I'm going to start posting some of the items that we find in this big search. If they're ones that I feel like need to be parted with for the benefit of the channel. And then you'll be able to bid on them like any normal eBay auction. Some of these items that we're looking into, we're possibly going to use those as giveaways on our Patreon. We're still exploring that as well. I don't want to give too many details here because YouTube has weird policies about that. So those policies would be explained, the rules would be explained on the Patreon itself. But there's a number of bigger ticket items that we're coming across that are going to be on the eBay for everybody to bid on if they're interested. So you'll be seeing those go up within the next few days. The last item in here, or last items.
Oh, look! Do I still have the Thunderdome one in there?
And there's dust that just got in my eye. What's that?
Didn't we have like a Thunderdome Viewmaster slide thing?
We had a Voltron one.
No, that's not what I remember.
Okay. I don't remember a Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Woo, woo, woo. Easy there.
Don't break your Walmart plane.
Hey, it's Dick Tracy. All right, lastly in this box we have... That's green plastic that's just flaking off from somewhere. That's unsettling. Now this, you might be asking yourself, what is he showing me? I have deliberately saved this. This is an Energizer battery from the 80s that never exploded, that I found in a Tonka motorized little like miniature truck from when I was a child. And I found it in a bin of stuff. It still had the battery in it. And I thought, oh man, this toy's ruined. I opened it up and this Energizer logo came staring me in the face. And I was like, my God, I haven't seen that Energizer logo since 1980 whatever. And I was like, I'm keeping that battery because this battery never blew up. It's dead, but it never blew up, which I think is awesome. In fact, I'm going to put this battery underneath that camera because it's so cool. Look at that. Huh?
It's the little things, you guys.
It is the little things. Like Knight Rider watches.
Someone wanted you to do your Michael Knight impression.
I have a Michael Knight impression? I don't have a Michael Knight impression. All right, we can get rid of this box.
I think you have a Kit impression.
Oh, well, yeah.
Asking what's in the He-Man box.
What's in the He-Man box?
Oh, you almost got to do that. It's right behind you.
Oh, this right here? This is the box that contained all of the Super XVII figures that I reviewed a few months ago for the channel when I did the Super XVII figure review. So it's got, unfortunately, not He-Man stuff in it. It has Planet of the Apes and Street Fighter II stuff. It's the figures from that video. It has He-Man Masters of the Universe muscles in it from their line as well. Haven't opened those. All right, let's see. Anybody have a box, or am I gonna just grab one? All right, I'll just grab one.
Questions, comments, concerns? I'm concerned about how long it's going to take to clean all of this up.
Jason Tran gave us $10.
Thank you for the super chat, Jason.
Says for the Energizer battery. Just kidding, love you guys.
You know what they say about Energizer batteries?
No.
They die. Just like all
All right,
other
let's see what we have here. We have Star Trek figures from the 90s. So these look like late figures too. Jadzia Dax. Oh, these are the DS9 figures in original uniforms from Trials and Tribulations.
Pull them up. so I can see him.
Miles O'Brien in original uniform.
Let's go to Claire.
At the bottom, we have something a little more interesting than that. Packaging for a Silverhawks Windhammer. And then at the bottom here, we have a number of assorted on-card Silverhawks action figures. That's Copper Kid and Quicksilver. And there's a number of others in there as well.
So you guys out there, do you like to display your toys carded or not carded?
Yeah, that's a good question. I prefer not carded because I run this channel where I have to show things off, and if you're showing people just a lot of boxed items, they can't really get a sense of what they do or how they function or anything like that. So
It's sad because my phone died, so I can't actually see any of the responses.
Split between carded and not carded.
That makes sense. I guess if you have a lot of really cool minty carded figures, that would be a way to go, you know. And then you just sort of have like a full.
You know, that's another trick about carded figures too, is trying to safely arrange them in a box so that they don't weigh each other down and pull the card backs down, you know, in a stack or anything like that. You've got to be careful when you're storing them so that doesn't happen. It's like these right here. I've decided that while we're sitting here, I'm just going to put these in this box since there's some space. And I got to figure out the best way to arrange them so that they don't get, you know, too damaged. And that will clear up some space for me to get some other stuff moved.
So are those things you're going to sell, or are those things you're going to keep?
I'm keeping these for the Star Trek Part 2, which is going to be happening, you know, in the next few months. And then I'm also going to be, after that's done, I'm going to figure out how many redundant figures I have, and then maybe some of them will go up for sale, or maybe I'll give them away as prizes, or, you know, it all depends. You
Got
can't.
a super chat from Eric.
Thanks,
Amen.
Eric.
He gave us $6.66.
Nice.
Says, this is my first time seeing your live stream. I appreciate your unique perspectives. Melinda, I am curious if you know or like the band Ghost from Sweden.
You're not the first person to ask me that. Ghost is very big with a lot of vintage metal fans. In fact, numerous ones of my friends who are into metal are really into them. They're not really my thing because they're very poppy, they just kind of.
I want you to go for that one in the back.
There's something
This?
that's just a little bit
Yeah.
not Melinda-ish about them. I've tried to listen, and I will continue to try to listen to them. I don't hate them. It's just not like my go-to like sound. But what is my go-to sound is where we went last night, which was the Judas Priest concert, which was awesome. Thanks for asking.
Now, speaking of things that, you know, she said she didn't hate Ghost. Let me show you something I do hate. And don't freak out yet when you see what it is. It's I don't hate everything in totality. I'm just not a fan of these
Meal kits.
toys.
He hates meal kits.
So these are Brave Star toys. This is 3030.
Poor 3030.
3030, I say without any exaggeration, is the worst toy ever made in the 80s. 3030 is the worst. It's not because I think the character is stupid. It's not because I don't like 3030 on the cartoon. This toy is poorly engineered, and it's horrible. And
He can hear you. He can hear what you're saying right now.
It's not his fault. It's
Okay.
Mattel's fault. And I will talk more about that when we talk about Brave Star in the future. Handlebar. This right here is the smoking gun of why this toy line is bad. This toy line is not good. Look at that. Look at it.
the face of justice.
No, no.
Picklehead.
Tex Hex. It's all sticky and it's got crud all over him. If you want to see some nice Brave Star toys in good condition, they're up there on that shelf.
I can't really.
Okay, you can't
turn the
angle it
camera.
that way? All right, well, you can watch the studio tour video and see them. I go by them. You can see them in the studio tour. All right, so that's some
Just
Brave
take our
Star.
word for it. There's some Brave Star figures.
Yeah, there's not many. There aren't many. You saw the majority of them.
I will remember, or I do remember, that putting together that playset was not fun. Hey,
Yeah, the Fort
can I say?
Kyrium.
what can I show you now?
All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got?
Oh, I know what I want
guess-
to do. You're standing right in front of what I want to show them.
Sorry.
Here it comes. I will defeat Michael. I will defeat him and everything he stands for.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Imperial dignitary. He hates you, you know.
Well, the feeling's mutual. All right. Let's see. Let's get this one out of the way. All right.
Says he feels like this is the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, it kind of is the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, isn't it? All right. Let's see. Oh, this is one here. This is a note that I got from Don Lawson, who's a friend of mine. He says, "Thanks for looking after my old friend, Safe Journey Battle Cat." His Battle Cat was the last surviving toy he'd ever gotten as a kid. He didn't have any of his other toys, and it happened to be a gift from his granddad. And I promised him that I would look after it. He just reached out to me and said, "Would you look after my last surviving childhood toy?" And I said, "Of course." And he lives right here. He protects Point Dread.
He was listening in on that really awkward conversation between the bird and King Randor.
Yeah, he always lives right here. So Don's Battle Cat always lives right there, so that he's never mistaken for someone else's Battle Cat. So he's right there amongst all the Masters of the Universe stuff, and he's safe and sound, Don. Safe and sound. All right. Looks like we have some Transformers mini-cons here. And I don't remember what these were called. These ones that had the pullback motors in them. What were these called? They were Transformers, but I don't remember their names. It was like the ones that, like Goldbug was one of them, and this looks like
The video that we took years ago at a party trying to make one of those flip up.
that's not the same thing. Those are Twin Twist and Top Spin. Those are, I never remember what they're called either.
Transformers.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm hilarious.
That's electrical cabling. Oh, this is appropriate since it's Battle of Britain Day today. September 15th is Battle of Britain Day. And look at this. It's not Fighter Command, it's Bomber Command, but hey, close enough for the purposes of randomly finding something on the day of the Battle of Britain. Bomber Command, Second World War, not a toy. Audience probably doesn't care, but I do, so there you go.
Pretty great.
All right, sticky squares. Now, your friend, Melinda, gave us...
I have a friend?
You have a friend. And he gave us a number of these items, such as this Starrier's Scorpion thing for the...
Oh, you're talking about Shelby.
Yes, Shelby. So Melinda's friend Shelby sent us this amazing care package full of all of his childhood toys. Hey, it looks like an Autobot magnet.
Wow.
Da 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 da.
I can totally see him having that.
Da 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 da.
Wow.
You got a $2 super chat from William Sorrells.
And he asked you to never do that again.
Oh, really?
Okay. Hang on.
And it's
So,
Mike.
So Michael,
wait. So, I've avoided asking this question.
Okay.
Because it's been asked, but
Okay.
now he's donated money. So we're
Okay.
trapped.
Okay.
so Michael, what's the worst Star Wars movie?
There you go.
What's the worst Star Wars movie?
Yeah. Boy, that's a hard one now, isn't it?
Oh.
Remember when that was an easy question?
Yeah. The worst Star Wars movie is probably The Last Jedi. I mean, that does not mean that the other ones that have come before it, aren't
Also terrible.
more watchable. I mean, Attack of the Clones is really bad. See, to me, it all comes down to scripting. I can tolerate a lot of stuff when it comes to special effects being wonky, or what I don't like is poor nonsensical storytelling. And I feel like The Last Jedi has a weak story. Now, on the other hand, I have heard, and I have not judged the film because I haven't seen it, and I never doubted in my mind for a moment that Ron Howard wouldn't deliver a superior film to that. I've heard that from multiple people, including a lot of people that I trust, that Solo is a decent film, and I have no reason to refute that because I haven't seen it. So I would answer your question by saying I think The Last Jedi is probably the worst Star Wars film, and I think history will judge it on its merits, objectively, and come to the same conclusion. So that's my take on it. I'm just about to move this before it falls over. Hold on. Sorry. You can put that there.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing the box.
Hey, the least you could do is sing if you're not going to be on camera.
Da 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 da.
Okay, never mind. That was my fault.
All right. I know this is kind of a weird live stream because of the nature of what we're doing, but it does give you an opportunity to see what happens when the cup runneth over, as it were. These are part of Shelby's Castle Grayskull, Melinda. This is from the Castle Grayskull that he sent. It was in a pretty rough condition, but it's got some good parts on it. So hopefully, we can salvage some of that.
How do you organize and how do you decide what to keep and what to sell?
The way I decide what to keep versus what to sell really comes down to, do I have a complete example of it already that's usable on camera? And do I have a complete example, and do I have any major variant? Now, I don't get into minor variants, but if I have major variants, I might consider not selling those. I've done that a few times, such as I did sell the variants for the second wave proton packs for the real Ghostbusters because I felt like I had all the original versions. I didn't need a redundant set.
I think you should talk about how you take a lot of things apart and you don't store them in ways where they're holding their weapons a lot of times, so that they're not. Yeah,
I don't store things with them holding their weapons because I don't want that, like we talked about with the settling of the weight, that usually ends up with making weapons warped because they're being held up and then the barrel is sticking out and then the barrel gets pushed down, things like that. So I keep those safe.
So he'll put a Star Wars figure in a Ziploc bag with its corresponding weapons, but not in their hands.
Right, not in their hands. Like with the lightsabers, I tend to, with the characters with the lightsabers up their arms, I tend to try and put them in plastic clamshells rather than bags and I pull that lightsaber up into their arms so that it doesn't get warped by leaning up against the side of something or something like that. But when it comes to deciding what to sell, it really comes down to space. If it's starting to take up space, and if it was expensive to get, like for example, there's an extra Crystar castle over there that's incomplete. It's in the corner. That's something I'm going to be selling. Or this box right here of flag parts.
You guys can't see it.
I'm going to be selling this box of flag parts because I've completed my flag to my satisfaction. So I'm going to be selling that.
You got a $10 from Chris Smith.
Oh, thanks, Chris, for the super chat.
It says another storage question. In addition to dehumidifiers, would you recommend placing desiccant packs in your storage bins or
Yes.
boxes?
Yes, yes.
Also, for Melinda, what are some upcoming topics for Dreamland?
Yes, use the silicone packs. They're very helpful. They don't hurt anything. Yes. You might want to be careful with rubber parts like the mask tires or GoBot. Excuse me, I just burped on camera. GoBot tires
Sexy.
because they tend to dry out if they're not in a certain humidity level. And now I'll let Melinda answer that question for you about Dreamland.
For Dreamland, October's coming up. Well, but before October gets here, I think our next podcast is going to be about Heathers, the movie, which we talked about here on the live stream maybe a couple months ago. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it, and then you'll be on the same page with us. In October, we're going to have, I believe we're going to have Brian Latendry back from the metal podcast that I'm really into.
Thrash it out.
And, yeah, I know what it's called. But yeah, we're actually going to talk about the movie Trick or Treat, not the crappy one from the 90s, but the one from the 80s with Skippy from Family Ties and Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons. So yeah, that's a great movie. Anyway, so those are some upcoming topics.
So I'm getting the 10-minute warning, and I'm also getting the 2-minute warning. So
It's the 2-minute warning,
it's the 2-minute warning?
according to
Well,
mine.
we've got a pretty big audience.
Oh, okay. 10 minutes then? All right.
Look, you guys got 10 more minutes. Remember when you were like, 10 more minutes, Mom, I'm not ready to go to bed.
All right, so we cleared that bin, and I'm going to take the... Oh, I am so glad I found this. I'm putting this under the thing.
Heathers is on Netflix? Really?
Who can
Yeah, I watched it on Netflix.
Sweet.
who can identify
The
this piece? Anybody know what that is?
No, it's not on the camera, Tim. There it goes.
Oh, it's not on the camera yet?
Oh, there it goes. What is that?
Someone knows.
It's part of an X-Wing.
No.
Yeah, there is a Heathers TV show, but we
choking
won't be
hazard.
talking about that.
It is a choking hazard. They are correct on that. It is
It's a hexagon.
a game token for the legendary board game Fireball Island.
You really thought somebody would know that?
Well, there's a lot of Gen Xers on here that might know it.
I've never even heard of that game.
You bought it for me for Christmas.
I mean, before I met you. There are a lot of things I didn't know about before I met you. Give me a break.
All right. Let's see. Oh, this is the one we opened on the last live stream, so I will save this one since we already opened that. Who's laughing at what?
Nothing. Super not appropriate.
Who's fine? So what I know. Shut out of things. That's Imaginext. That's.
A few questions about Imaginext. I told them you were a fan.
I am a fan. Very much so.
No, I am not the one in the text. I have my own text when I go on here, but I believe that is both Tim Ward and Tim Whitten.
Yes, Timothy Ward and Timothy Whitten are the guys behind the texts during the live stream.
Yes, we still have Kirby the cat, and we also have 3 other cats in addition to Kirby. How did we meet? How did we meet, Michael?
On a wing and a prayer.
I was laughing at your comment, Father Axe Keeper. I was.
All right, what do we got?
I almost
here?
said the same thing, but I figured that would be inappropriate.
Looks like we have some G.I. Joe parts here, like the rear tail fin of the Rattler. And we have a ferret.
What is that?
A ferret?
That's not a ferret, that is a toy.
This is an ATV that Cobra drives around in.
Thank you, that's what I'm asking. That makes it crystal
Called
clear.
the ferret.
Because there's nothing more ferocious than a ferret.
You know,
Haven't you seen Beastmaster?
Cobra rejects your judgment.
You know what? I reject Cobra.
Well, Cobra's gonna have something to say about that.
What, la la la?
Oh, that was a low.
That was great!
Low.
Don't even lie! That was so amazing!
Nice.
No, that
Look
was
it all by
that was
myself.
low. That's adding insult to injury. Tomahawk parts. Vintage Star Wars Death Star parts.
Someone asked what's special about Heather's. You'll have to listen to our podcast to find that out.
Special about what?
Heather's.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's doing la 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 la.
I think that's where the Smurfs got it from. That's why it's so lame.
You know, you just go ahead and keep being brutal. That's fine.
I can't help it. I am super metal.
All right, let's see. We've got Crystar parts here. We've got Dragon Riders of the Styx parts here. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Melinda, when's the next podcast?
The new Dreamland podcast, I know it's been a long time, guys, but it's coming out, I believe, next Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. It will not be about Heather's. It'll be the one we recorded a couple days ago, which will be about Lord of the Rings.
More parts. That's a lot of He-Man figures that need legs, I'll tell you that much.
Ooh, did you guys ever watch Monster Vision or USA Up All Night? Yes, Joe Bob Briggs, USA Up All Night with Rhonda Shear. Yes, I watched all of that a lot.
I remember that show.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I remember Joe Bob Briggs and Rhonda.
What's your thought on the Mego reboot?
People are saying, oh, it's Mego and name only and this and that, but you know what? Every company the person that owns the name is the company at that point. DeLorean is still in existence with the logo. It's no longer owned by John DeLorean, who's now deceased, and it was resurrected as a restoration brand, but no one can argue in legal sense, not to be jaded, but they are the DeLorean Motor Company. Resurrected. So, it's Mego under another name and that kind of thing, but I mean, I guess they look cool. I don't know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
From William Sorrells. This is probably possibly my favorite question of the whole show. Didn't Cobra have a vehicle called a mongoose?
I believe they
He
did.
says, isn't it a little odd to name a vehicle named after the thing that kills your mascot?
Unless you are of the psyche that says, I've named this vehicle this so that I can sort of own that experience. The mongoose is subjugated to me.
No.
Therefore, it is mine.
I like his question. That's
Well,
a great question, William, and I agree with you. It's dumb. Tim's now saying 5. 5 more minutes, and then you have to go brush your teeth and go to bed.
Really? Is that where we are? Really? Okay.
That's what my dad used to do. He'd just walk in and hold up his 5 minutes.
All right, fair enough. Hey, anybody know what this is? It's a bone troller.
That sounds really dirty.
I know, but that's what it is. It's from Masters of the Universe. It's an action figure.
Well, that explains it.
Action figure carrier. This was Shelby's, Melinda.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you wear underoos as a kid? Didn't we all?
Did I? Yes, I did. I wore Superman underoos.
Wonder Woman.
I wore Superman underoos, and I wore Return of the Jedi underoos. Luke Skywalker underoos. As a matter of fact, if you go to the RetroBlasting Facebook page and you look in the photo albums, you can find my first day of kindergarten picture where I'm wearing the T-shirt from that
I'm really
set.
glad he went in that direction with that. Okay.
What?
I just didn't want a picture of you.
The Underoos T-shirts had cool artwork on them, and
I
they were
agree.
unique. And so I don't know why they put the Darth Vader TIE Fighter on Luke Skywalker's Underoos, but whatever. So
Somebody wasn't paying attention. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Jack Kenner. I can't believe it.
yeah,
Or
don't hate.
whoever. I don't hate.
You're hating.
Favorite cheesy B movies?
Ninja 3, The Domination.
Oh God.
What? It's a great movie. Sheena with Tanya Roberts. It's a great movie.
What was that movie we watched that I laughed so hard at? With the, I can't say it.
That's not
It's
helpful.
a Wild West, Wild Space, Wild Planet.
Wild Wild Planet.
That's it.
Wild Wild Planet.
That's the one I like. Ooh, I love Miami Connection. Friends for eternity, loyalty, honesty will stick together through thick or thin. Hey, I bought that movie. That's a great movie.
And people wonder why we try to keep it to an hour.
Let's see what's in here.
Sorry.
Now I want to show you something. There's nothing in here, and this was taking up space in our storage room, which is not, a lot of space. So this is why you periodically, if you're an avid toy collector, you've got to audit your stuff. You've got to go back through, figure out what, because sometimes you just quickly clean things up. I'll get to it later. Then 6 months, 18 months later, you forget. This is why we do this, because this is valuable real estate that can be used for something else. This is a great shipping box to send something out via
Thank
eBay.
you, HelloFresh.
Yeah, thank you,
know,
HelloFresh.
If you ever do those meal kit things, which I don't know if I would recommend them, but if you do, they have great boxes that you can use for this kind
They
of
said,
stuff.
Michael, that must be Wonder Woman's invisible plane.
Ah, hilarious.
Oh,
Not that I want to talk.
I don't know if there's much more we can go through in the time allotted. So, I did find this bag of Modulock parts, which Tim and I were looking for some. Maybe this will help us complete that Modulock that we were working with. Remember, like I said on the Masters of the Universe live stream, you can always look hard enough in the cushions of your couches and you'll probably find a complete Modulock. So.
And having Modulock is half the battle.
But well, maybe it's having the power. Or half. Yes.
You got 1 minute.
Oh, I have 1 minute. Oh, I thought that was a question.
Be entertaining in 1 minute. Go. That's great.
I'll just do this for 1
Do you
minute.
have like closing words, closing thoughts?
Just when it comes to toy storage, again,
I think labeling things is really important.
labeling things
Keeping things-
is key.
Keeping things that are all of one sort of thing together. The really fragile stuff should probably go together on the top.
Right.
The heavy stuff on the bottom, and then trying to keep things together that are like with like is super helpful, so that you're not going, I don't know, my crap's just all shuffled in between a million
Right.
boxes.
Try to take things apart, like antennas off of G.I. Joe vehicles and stuff, and put them, in their own boxes, like the Neutrona wands for real Ghostbusters, so they don't get broken when things shift. That's happened to me with some G.I. Joe vehicles a lot. Any peripherals that can be removed from vehicles and toys safely is usually advisable. And then if you can, err on the side of opaque plastic bins, because you never know if those bins are going to be sitting, near a window or something like that. And then climate control. Climate control is really important. And also, really, don't become a hoarder. Don't take on more than you can before it impacts your lifestyle. I mean, because it does have an effect on your mental health, even if you don't know it. What's the problem?
I was just seeing how long I could let that go and just.
Oh.
Just
But yeah, just make sure that you only collect as much as is healthy for your space.
and
one
don't you be like us.
of
Don't do this. This is what not to do, people.
This is not hoarding. We're getting rid of a lot of this stuff. Don't get.
Michael, how are we getting rid of some of this stuff?
We're going to be getting rid of some of it, like I said, through the eBay, RetroBlasting eBay account, and then we're going to be getting rid of some of it as prizes on the RetroBlasting Patreon. We're going to be testing that maybe for a 3-month period to see how that goes. If it works out, then we'll keep doing it, but we'll be providing details for that on the Patreon RetroBlasting page. We're not going to do that here on YouTube because of weird reasons and rules. So if you're interested in that, you can go see our Patreon page at some point. We'd love for you to check it out anyway. Every patron at any level can vote on the live stream topics every other Saturday. And like I said, we've got some new videos in the hopper. We've got Buck Rogers coming soon, the 2-part feature. We've got Bionic 6 coming before the end of the year, because Tim has told me if I don't do Bionic 6 before the end of the year, he's going to quit, and I don't blame him because it's been 3 years since I promised it. What else have we got? We've got the End of the Flag restoration coming up, which is going to be fun. And I've got a few other videos that I'm working on that should be pretty cool. So, yeah. The other one I wanted to mention is I'm going to be doing a review of Mighty Orbots, the cartoon show, with my good friend Gregory Tyler from the official Voltron podcast. So he and I are going to get together. We're going to do a collaboration and review the Mighty Orbots here before the end of the year too. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming up. So thank you for watching this live stream, everyone. Appreciate you all being here. I know this was a little unorthodox. The next one will be a little more traditionally formatted like you're used to, but we thought this would be kind of a fun thing to do. So hope you have a great Saturday, and we will see you on the next live stream, and we will see you on the next video. Have a great weekend, everyone.